do against each other. Cinnamon, I believe, overall had, what, 50 kills throughout the past 2 matches? Like 30 in the overtime match, and then 25, I think, something like that, in the second. So yeah, Cinnamon has been on an absolute tear, and obviously Smurfette sticking with that Jet. It's going to be great to see how they synergize off each other. And again, like you said, they really don't fancy taking this into overtime again. They'll probably be exhausted if we have that again.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what? I'm not jealous of these ladies. I don't want to be in their shoes right now. This is so exhausting to deal with. We get the fun job, right? I mean, we've been here for just as long as they have, but we've just been yelling about how cool they are. They're the ones that actually have to play. The pressure's on them, and we just get to enjoy the game. So let's start it off here, and enjoyment shall be had. Look at that.
Yeah, headshots immediately. Sky gets one, but immediately gets taken down as a result. And let us see how our first push is going to be going. They're running on into C. And Roxy is going to try and hold it down with the pistols, but to no avail this time around. And it will be the first spike down for GangsterZz in a 3v2 situation as Glance wanders on through the door. Cinnamon tries to get a flash. Nobody really there for it this time around. Glance through the smoke.
Ooh.
The turret is going to find him dangerous, but gets the pick anyway.
Oh, and that lights up. Somebody on the left knows the person's there, tries to get the swing. But wow, Nino with a great finisher there, even using the incendiary to get that last kill. As we see Cinnamon try and run through it and get taken down. Great stuff here. A very, very solid attacking round. But of course, it was a little back and forth. Quite a bit of damage coming through. And with only 2 players left alive for GangsterZz at the end of it, it was quite spicy. So we're going to see those 2 players hanging onto their ghosts. And we're going to see some Spectres being brought up. Oh, Project X doing the thing, forcing up round 2 after losing the first pistol. We know how high risk that can be.
They really like to go big or go home in these in the early pistol rounds, don't they? It always seems to be, regardless of how it goes, they're just like, you know what, screw it. We play aggressively anyway. Well, let's just buy up and try and use it to our advantage. But Nino is going to get the first pick onto Roxy. Cinnamon comes charging on out. The Killjoy is going to spray them right down to their core. And that just leaves Glance as the Nova all the way on to A. And that, well, this is surely looking like GangsterZz round to lose.
Yeah, quite surprising to see this coming off the back of that Ascent play, where Project X's defense was honestly their... Well, actually, their defense seemed to be... Oh, my goodness. It seemed to be their default... default? Downfall. It seemed to be their downfall on Ascent. And now we're seeing something similar here as we come on to Haven. Their defense is somewhat crumbling under GangsterZz assault. And now GangsterZz are going to be coming into this once again with full Spectres, and it's forced Project X after that force to have to go back down to pistols. 3 sheriffs in hand. So definitely some firepower here at the very least. But if they lose this round, that's a little bit of a broken economy. They might be able to buy up Vandals, rifles in the 3rd round to match with GangsterZz. So we'll see if that does actually come into fruition, depending on how many people actually die here.
Yeah, and Slicey tries to get a little bit of a tap onto Nova. He is going to just quickly get the heck out of that. Smurfette now just running straight back around. Going to try and join their friends up onto A. And it looks like, well, Roxy thought about going for it, but actually is holding ground onto C. And to be fair, good decision in the end because they've pushed all the way in here. And that surely is going to be a spray through. That is 2 on the point. Surely that's secured C for GangsterZz. And the plant should be coming in just a moment.
And there's a big lurk coming through as well. This entire map has been shut down by GangsterZz. Any avenue to try and move on to Saicha is going to get spotted out very, very quickly. And the last 2 players here going to try to make something happen, but here's that flank.
Yeah, that's a flawless, nice and tidy for GangsterZz. A nice 3-0 to start things off in this first half. And this is exactly what they wanted to have, especially with how their progress has been so far.
Now, what's interesting here is that usually that round 3 is your bonus round after winning the pistols, but because there was a force-up, that leads GangsterZz to be able to just carry on the bonus. They're going to buy up to 1 Vandal here for Slicey, but they don't realize that Project X have bought up to an Operator, and this could be very, very deadly. Smurfette did so much work on that Operator. Let's see if she can carry on with that. Unfortunately for her, though, no one seems to be pushing up C long, but they're going to push through Garage, so she might get a chance to get a shot off.
Potentially. Slicey is going to get the pick on Roxy first. Spikes are coming on out, and Cinnamon actually does manage to get the pick onto Sky, but nothing more than that as Slicey takes out Smurf.
Ooh. Kim, the great equalizer with the 3K.
Yeah, good try and go for the quad if they're feeling extra spicy. Slicey fires on through the door, misses the initial shot, covers it with the smoke as well. They've got an hour in there. Doesn't quite give the location away though. So again, they both know full well that Slicey is the only one left up for this. They have a very good opportunity to go for this. Slicey picks up the spike. And turns the corner straight into. They do get the triple and take Kim out of the equation, but Glance is right behind her. And as a result, it will be a point on the board at last for Project X.
They do lose the operator in that exchange, though, so a little bit of a financial blow for this team. They were kind of hoping to blow it out of the water there, and interestingly enough, Slicey is going to be buying an operator this time around. The attack up. It's another one of those kind of high-risk plays, but it can really work out, and Slicey has been kind of hot and cold on this operator. Yesterday, we saw some questionable moments, but today, she's been doing really, really well. So we'll see if that continues along, if she can get some value out of that, particularly here on this offensive half.
And already taking a little peek. Unfortunately, not quite getting that first shot on the Phoenix. Hawk will go out as well, trying to give her a little bit more information, a little bit more strategy. Brim dropping on the smokes. And the run it back is in effect as well, so Cloud going to try and get as much information out of this as possible. Realizes that they're going to get taken up by Killjoy. Nino immediately takes them down as a result, and that is that coordination you like to see from GangsterZz. It's a 4v4. Make that a 4v3. They are on the point, and surely that'll be spiked down as well.
Great swings here, but Project X still giving no quarter down to the 1v2. Slicey, for some reason, was so far down C long, possibly looking to try and get some kind of a flank, and now... Oh my goodness, the flick is good! Massive work from Slicey, and holds on to the operator.
Exactly all you want out of those clutch kind of performances. All of the firefight happened on to C, and despite being so far back, used it to their advantage, got the first pick, and the flick was good. Nice little headshot to tie that up, and that is how you secure a point in the death.
Fantastic. Now we do have some ultimates across the board here. Of course, we know that the run it back was utilized previously, and already building up points to another one. But we have Blade Storm and Orbital Strike online here for the attack. Those are some very, very powerful ultimates. Orbital Strike can clear a site very, very quickly. So those are going to be very, very useful. And then obviously Hunter's Fury and that Cosmic Divide. We've seen some amazing plays get used off the back of that. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that here.
We certainly love to see those kind of plays. It's not bind, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of sound dampening that you can utilize, especially on a map as wide as this, since you've got 3 different points to be attacking. I don't think we'll be seeing anybody really try to drop the spike on B. It's generally either A or C on this go-round. And Nello, unfortunately, flicked away at the last second and gets caught out by Cinnamon. That will give it a little bit of information to say, okay, these two might be going on a bit of a flank. Clark does not get the better of Smurfette with the knives out as well. And suddenly, it's a 2-player advantage for Project X.
That's very, very powerful, but unfortunately, very low HP there and no healer to try and get that back up. Now, they do have the numbers advantage, which is massive, and interestingly, they're actually committing... Oh my goodness, check your corners! Oh.
How do I check notes? Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't check your notes if you can't check a corner.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, very sad display there. But, yeesh. The turnaround is going to need to be big here. Because GangsterZz feels like they're starting to crumble a little bit. They had such an oppressive first few rounds, and now it's a little bit more back and forth. They're down to one person having to chill on a Spectre. We got dueling op battles here between Smurfette and Slicey.
Oh my
Let's see
gosh.
who comes out on top. Oh.
Could you imagine if they both fire and they both go down at the same time? That would be funny. Don't actually do that, people. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
It's
They didn't take
Smurfette.
each other out, but
He nearly did. Gosh, well, it's 1 for 1, but crucially, the operator is off the board for GangsterZz and not for Project X, and wisely so, they go, you know what, not C.
well, it seems it's been picked up. That operator is still going to be in the running. We'll see if they get some value out of that. I probably would have advised leaving it on the ground because now you're in a fierce close range battle. Where do you think you're going to get the value from that?
Spike down A.
Well, the smoke is still on the right-hand side and trying to get some pokes out of this, which is brave in and of itself, because again, if you miss it from that range, you're a sitting target. Just again, just waiting it out now, patiently playing this.
Oh.
Gets the shot on the jet! And that Smurf out of it, just glance left.
Glance knows the operator's there. Oh, good utilization of cover there to get through. Waits for the shot to come through, pushes through, but doesn't realize that Lara is just around the corner. Scary stuff here.
They're gonna replay the poor Phoenix, wrong place, I'm afraid. But again, the Jet just peeking around, nothing that they could do against Klar, and Glance could do nothing with the Sky, who was just lingering there. That's what the numbers advantage will do to you. And with that, GangsterZz are 5-2 up, slowly starting to get those points, building back up again. Knowing full well that Project X, the second they start winning, we've seen how consistent they can be once that streak is established. So GangsterZz doing everything they can to keep that at bay. Another up shot coming on out, Cinnamon. Not going to get tagged by it this time. Oh, never mind, they do, but it's okay. They'll run it back.
Great information gathering there, so they know that the operator is outside A sewers. I think that she only managed to spot one. So again, they're not entirely sure of what the push is going to look like, but GangsterZz have 4 ultimates online. Yeah, they've got the Seekers, which will give them some information about where people are. Started off with the Trailblazer. It's a good name for that because that's literally what it does. Run forward, see what information there is, and then you follow behind. But there is... Oh, there's so much firepower, and there's a Bucky around the corner.
You don't want to be running into that one at close range, I can tell you that right now. And it's going to be Lara who gets the better of Roxy on this, and guess what? Another plant coming on down, but the Fury's going to come out. Brimstone, can they survive it? They can indeed survive it, and the spike does go down in the process, so going to try and hook this up in defense. And here we go again, 4 on 4. Slicey has, well, did have the window covered, but there's a smoke there now.
Great utilization of the heal there as well. So GangsterZz all full up on HP. Just waiting for the smoke to go down. Slicey wants to try and get some value because they do have the HP advantage, but who's watching the spike?
Well, the spike diffuser does go down at the very least. They didn't quite make it to the halfway mark, and they won't do so either. Slicey gets a shot, but Glance gets a quad!
Over the strike!
Oh! It's enough! It's enough to clutch it out, and Nino gets the heck out of there. Goodness me. Where do you even begin to defuse that entire situation?
I mean, honestly, there was just so much going on there, so much utility on the point. Despite Glance getting a beautiful 4K at the end there, they held on to that orbital strike. It was something that I mentioned. It can clear a site, whether that's forcing you back away from the site or whether it's killing someone who's trying to get the defuse. It comes up huge here for GangsterZz, but that's every single one of their ultimates. They have, however, crippled the economy of Project X, forced them back down onto an eco, and with only a lockdown to work with here, we're getting close once again to that half time. 4 rounds left in this half. Project X needs to mount quite the defense here.
Absolutely do. A 4-point lead. They do not want to be having that go any further than that. Flash will come out, but there's nobody really there for it this time around. So again, they have the A point. But we got the lockdown coming up as well. So they know full well they'll be trying to get out of that, but Nilo is going to get the pick on Cinnamon. Nothing the Phoenix could do in this exchange. No players detained as a result, but again, it forces everybody to move the heck away.
Oh, too many corners to check there. Can't even falter for that one. But the runner back's going to come out to get a little bit of information. They also have a numbers advantage here. They know that there's one on the back of sight. They don't know where that jet is just yet.
One enemy remaining.
And that just leaves the Jet now. Smurfette remains on this area. Gets one at least with the Sheriff. But that was all they will get. Clara will get the final kill. Gets the triple and the spike planted as well.
Last second spike plant for a little bit of extra credits. You know, an extra 200 in your pockets. Why not? And when you're at this much of a streak, sure, you add that in there. A great round here from GangsterZz once again. You know, they had that streak. It was the anti-eco, kind of expected. And now, Project X, usually after an eco, you're able to come in and full buy up. But this time around, still only 3 rifles with 2 Spectres. And GangsterZz even have that Blade Storm available for this next attack. They're on such a tear here. Very surprising given Project X's previous performance.
Yeah, it looks like they're meeting their match on this exchange. And the ops again coming out thick and fast. But as you say, GangsterZz holding on to those knives as well. We'll see if they decide to pop them as they slowly start to make their way towards C. All of the utility dumped on A, not much on C, but again, they've got the numbers over here, so it's just a question of can they get these picks where they matter most. Smurfette on the high ground, waiting for them to peek on through. Flash will come out on both sides.
Oh, Cinnamon!
Cinnamon gets the double before Slicey gets it, and then Smurfette continues to finish on in. Slicey has popped the knives though. 4 versus 2. And quickly backing it up. Great little shot. Good decided to switch to the operator and get Smurfette out of the equation.
Now the spike is down on C though, which is definitely not the best situation to be in. Can Nilo... Oh, Nilo loses the 1v1. What a swing from Roxy. And now it's all down to Slicey to try and make this work.
And they've already deployed knives as well, so they have to make the most out of this. Look at all of the weapons just scattered in this hallway, and they've got all of the angles they need to get away with this. So block 1, but they missed the first knife! Oh, you can't afford to miss it in that exchange. And as a result, Project X will take that point away.
Goes for the right click to try and get with all of the knives, and every single one of them misses. It's heartbreaking. And an important part of that round was when Clark flashes on at the top of C long, and Cinnamon gets flashed out but still gets 2k. It's traded out, but that was massive because it's able to give them a massive numbers advantage, and GangsterZz just not able to follow that up. Now we've still got the operator online, but GangsterZz are full buying up here. They're coming into 2 ultimates, and one of them is going to be the Blade Storm. Hopefully we get a little bit more value out of this than what we saw from Slicey. We'll see if we can see it made happen.
We've also got the Fury as well, though that will all come down to when they decide to bring that into fruition. Again, so many smokes being deployed, making sure the B is fully covered. Like I said, nobody really goes for the spike plants on B. We saw a couple of attempts yesterday, but none of them really succeeded and went the way that the team planting would have liked it to. Another flash for Glance, just quickly backing on out there. Nobody really pushed forward, so they won't have to worry too much about that. And it looks like they're all starting to queue up towards A. Smurfette has to recoil a little bit. They'll know it's coming and gets the very important shot on Lyra.
Oh! She just barely makes it out with her life. With 2 shots, but she's got the blade, so she misses every shot with the knives!
No! The Jets have been so inconsistent with the knives in the grand final of all places. And that is just how it goes sometimes. It's a 2v2 situation now, as now just the Killjoy up for GangsterZz. They will get at least 1. So a 1v1 situation to decide if GangsterZz get the point. They don't! It's gonna be Cinnamon who hangs on in there.
Oh my earth, and it came down to pixels. We actually saw the shoulder peak, and despite that, it just wasn't enough. And, oh man, watching that Blade Storm was just painful. The number of knives that just completely whiffed, and you have so little control of that sometimes, you know. It's the right click. Where are you aiming that? How the knife's gonna fly? Unfortunately, they did not fly in her favor, and now GangsterZz back down onto a very broken buy. Bulldog, 1 rifle, and a bunch of Spectres. Project X sitting pretty to make this a 7-5 half.
That'll be a really good thing for them to go with. Goes for the run it back, and the Phoenixes both go down. Glance will go down as well in the process of all of that, meaning that Project X and GangsterZz are free for free here. The lockdown has been initiated to
Oh my
boot.
goodness.
Kim fires on Frudo, takes Nella out of it, and that should... No, they haven't got the lockdown out. I think they're going to get detained.
They might do, but the rest of the team is there to protect. The rest of the ladies, they're gonna watch her back. See GangsterZz not pushing out for it. With GangsterZz only 2 players left alive. Now, the push is gonna come through from one specific area. Maybe they fan out a little bit, take some garage space. Cosmic Divide comes through to try and dampen the sound, but... Oh, it's not enough.
The knives are out as well. Kim is the only one up. This has to matter, and unfortunately, it is going to be Nino who gets the pick first, and that will at least do it. Watch this again, just boop, both Phoenixes just hit the deck at the same time. Synchronized ashes, you'll love to see it, but it is going to be the point in the side of GangsterZz. They at least end the first half with the point. They needed that. 8-4 as we enter our second pistol round.
As much as they needed that, so did Project X. A 7-5 would have been a far more doable task. But they're now on their attacking half. And we saw their attack on Ascent. Their attack on Ascent, or rather their defense on Ascent, was terrifying. Their attack, not quite up to par. Hopefully now they can bring that one around, because defense was where they really shone. With their really aggressive defenses, pushing out of those, like pushing out of A main, pushing out of mid. Now when they're on the attack, they need to try and replicate those results.
Yeah, nobody on C for the initial push, so it looks like the plant may be coming on in here, and rapidly so as well. Yep, there you go. Plant straight up on C. No messing around at this stage of the game. They know what's at stake. They know what they have to do, and now this is going to be a retake. Nobody has lost anyone at the moment. Another flash comes on in. Smurfette comes around the corner, but it's going to be Roxy who gets the first pick. Cinnamon drops. Smurfette avenges them with a double. Finally gets taken out by Lyra as well. So the 3-on-2 situation. The Cloud is going to go up in the corridor. Kim peeks on through. Oh, no! Actually gets the pick against them anyway.
Pistol rounds do be kind of wild. And that felt like a GangsterZz round, but Project X just so powerful once they get onto site here. We're seeing that aggression. This is kind of what I was hoping to see on Ascent in the previous map, you know, where they had such a strong defense, and I was thinking, well, their offense is going to be even more powerful because they're an aggressive team, they're on the attacking side. It just makes sense. This is what I'd wanted to see from them, and they kind of floundered a little bit. They're on a good start here, and GangsterZz we see are not going to be forcing up the buy in the second round, so gun advantage for Project X.
And they'll see if they can capitalize on that as a result as we go into our second point in the second half, and Cinnamon slowly wandering up towards B. And in fact, there's nobody on B. They're all going to come around that corner and get quite the surprise here. We actually see a plant on B. We are going to see a plant on B, but they're all around the corner here, and that is going to be a double for Smurfette. A frenzy kill as well for Klar in the midst of all of that. So Project X, well, this is going to be an interesting play here.
Last 3 people left alive. And of course, like I said, it's the gun difference. Ooh, actually manages to get the pick off there with the classic, so the numbers are evened out here. No ways, GangsterZz.
I'm even speechless just watching this as well now. Glance is firing on bolts. Roxy's going to get Klar out of this. Glance gets it as well. The defuse. Is the defuse going to happen here? They have to rinse through, and no, it's not. Project X will take that point. And hey, a B plant finally working.
You know what? It doesn't happen often, but when it does, boy, is it powerful. And I loved how they'd kind of run out of post-plant utility, so they decided, screw it. And they just ran straight into the smoke. And Leah being the last person left alive, there wasn't too much that she was going to be able to do there. Another solid round here for Project X as they do win the first 2 pistols. And now they go into this with a bonus. But after having a couple die down, they're like, all right, cool, well, we're going to have to spend a little bit of money. So it's almost a full rifle round for Project X on the second pistol, which is, again, it's that high risk, high reward, because if they lose here, their economy's a bit of a mess. And of course, GangsterZz are on their first rifle round. If they win this, then they are poised to carry on the momentum.
Yeah, it's a crucial thing for that as well. Everybody just poking on down C, and ironically enough, again, nobody is there at the moment. They're slowly rotating over there, though, so that will very quickly and rapidly change. They're very much scattered here, our gangsters. They're all, they're very much trying to cover as many angles as possible. And slowly but surely, Cinnamon will realize, here comes the flash. Cinnamon just about lives. Somehow, the flash is going to get exchanged, and finally, Cinnamon does go down. And that was the running back I think I heard there, and immediately punished for it. Smurfette takes full advantage, and Project X have the numbers advantage once again.
Yeah, but with one on site and one still not here just yet to link up.
Last player
Oh, gets caught out in the middle of the flank. Nino, the last person alive. And she clutched this.
Yeah, hard task. These are very incredibly good players at this stage. Again, they've got one on long sight. Can't quite get the elimination. Gets tagged so many times. And Kim finally puts them to bed. And with that, they are just 1 point behind for that very, very sought after equalizer.
Oh, timeout incoming. All right. I guess this is a tack pause. And of course now we have the new timeout where no one can move. You're just kind of like frozen in place. So that's what we're seeing here. It's actually quite pretty. It's all black and white. That was an important round for Project X. I think every round at this stage has been really important for them. But of course, they're going to come into this next round. They're going to have Bladestorm active. Don't think they're actually going to invest it. I want to see what their buys look like once we get back into it. Because after winning that round, and it was a little bit of a force-up, they did lose a couple of players, but their economy should still be okay to be able to buy up. GangsterZz, on the other hand, that was their rifle round. It was the first rifle round. And I think that after losing that one, we could see them back down onto the eco.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that does play out. Both sides do have an ult at their disposal. Sky with their ults for GangsterZz. Meanwhile, Project X have the knives set and ready to be deployed, which you generally see the jet pop off relatively quickly. So timeout has been done and dusted, and again you can see the score sheets at this as it stands. Lance with 16 kills and Slicey with 15. They are delivering big time when they needed. A little special shout out there to Cinnamon. Yes, they've only got the 9 kills, but I mean 11 assists just tells you that they are consistently throwing themselves into the action, and well, they're at least contributing big time to what's coming up.
Project X should have an advantage in this round, just purely because they have bigger guns. And they've spread themselves out quite nicely across the map. But look here, this aggression from GangsterZz again, trying to get that early information, popping off the alarm bot. So it's very clear that there is aggression coming through here. And Roxy just ready for it.
Oh my goodness me, double, triple, can the ace come? There's a flash up there, their teammate, I believe, will try and help them out. Get this, but that is a quad for the Killjoy, who probably really wants that. It is going to be a flawless. It's Glance who gets the finishing kill. But again, you don't really care. You want to get the points anyway. It is the equalizer, but yeah, that quad from the balcony. Look at that. One headshot from the distance, one up close, and then the next two from range. Exactly finding their mark. And that is beautifully done.
Yeah, Roxy gets herself tied up with Smurfette for kills. Well, there you go. And Cinnamon somehow down onto a Spectre again, but GangsterZz finally able to buy up. So we're tied up now. And this is, I mean, we may as well be back at 0-0, right? Except for the economy. And that's where this really becomes important, because we've got an operator on the board here. Oh my goodness, she didn't move! They saw her and she didn't move!
That is unfortunate. Of that, there is no doubt. And with that, that's going to be Project X with a player advantage in the early stages. And it looks like the rotate is already happening. Everybody is just mulling on over towards A. Although, having said that, the spike has been left on the left-hand side of the map, more closer to C than anything else. So I wonder if they're going to throw utility and then just immediately rotate back.
We saw the run it back come out there, but it got shut down after the alarm bot gave away the positioning, and you can actually see the spikes making its way over towards B. They made all that noise on A. GangsterZz completely fell for it, over-rotated. They're all over on the A side. The spike's going to go down, and Project X, all they need to do is hold post plants. Bearing in mind, they have Hunter's Fury, so they can keep the Sova all the way down C long, and even if they aren't able to maintain their position on on the spike on the site, they'll still have that ultimate available to help them out. And this has been a great round strategically from Project X.
Yeah, the ult from Sky is going to come out as well by the looks of it. Another flame wall coming on up. And that is going to be rinsed straight through. Nello not going to get into the equation this time around. Spraying down sight. But it looks like it's going to be Project X's point for sure. Down they'll go. Cinnamon gets a double in the midst of all of that. And that is going to be lead for Project X. Having trialed from the initial stages, they now have that lead.
And impressive because they actually did use the lockdown, but it wasn't even necessary. They had such a good read of the situation, and GangsterZz, it's a little unfortunate that they fell so quickly for that bait over on the A site. They all over-rotated so early on, and now that we're back onto an eco round, you can see they're kind of hedging their bets here. They're all stacking over onto the B site, and it is going to be a B push. They want to get as many kills as they can, but oh my goodness, look at that spray!
Yeah, unfortunate to say the very least. A triple for Smurfette in the midst of all of that. They managed to at least take one down out of the equation, but Nino is on their own, and well, this is not going to be great for them. They missed the first shot, and Cinnamon, well, clean up. 10-8 is now the scoreline. That's now 6 in a row since we started the second half.
Project X doing so well right now. I mean, again, anti-eco, like, GangsterZz weren't going to get too much done there. But now they need to get a footing in. Alright, we talk about how important each of these rounds are. And, I mean, every round is important. And this is just another one of those all-important rounds. Because they're fully buying up. They're forcing their full buy. So they're all down to, like, no credits. And they have 2 people on half armor. They have the operator available, but value needs to come from that. And that is a fantastic start.
Yeah, had the high ground, and it just about was over the smoke. But Cinnamon is going to shut them down immediately, get themselves a double. Sky is out of the equation as well. And despite that good start, it is going to be player advantage for Project X, but not for much longer. I mean, they still do have it, but a player less than they'd like to. The plant is down at least, so it is up to GangsterZz to once again have to take this. But with Sky and Phoenix, they don't have ult. The Fury is up if they need to use it for Project X. And you can see them just cover inside, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They're covering like a very different angle.
And they're gonna hear the spike tap, and then somebody pushes in deep. Huntress Fury off the board. Save the op and run. Okay. Realizes there's no way she's gonna get that defuse, so alarm bot there just in case somebody chases her. Holding on to the operator, not gonna risk it, so that they have that gun available for the next round. It was an important round, and they weren't able to clutch that one out. Now their buy is gonna be a little bit messy. I think they do still have the losing streak bonus, if I'm not mistaken, because like it's been quite a few rounds. But even then, it's not a hell of a lot of cash to play with. And Project X now off the back of yet another win, and still holding on to 2 of their ultimates. I mean, yeah, like, even with the bonus money, it's not enough for a proper buy. So we've got a Spectre. Oh no, it actually buys up to a... I think that Nino bought 4 Claw there. And so we're going to have 2 on Spectres. And full rifles once again for Project X with 2 ultimates here. Now, GangsterZz have 3 very, very powerful ultimates. We saw how powerful the Orbital Strike was in the previous half. And, of course, the Run It Back of the Blade Storm can do so much. There's going to be a full A hit here from Project X as they just start rushing forward. The rotation already coming through from GangsterZz. They've pretty much clocked this. And they want to get as much map control as they can.
Yep, smokes are up in the window as well. They're going to start trying to go up to that high ground. Slicey is going to just hide themselves in there and wait for this to dissipate. And here comes the Orbital. Immediately jumped straight into the central area, but nobody has been traded out just yet. Clark gets caught by the trap, but again, that was with the Run It Back in place, so that won't bother them too much. And again, look at this. 3 already down for GangsterZz. They at least get 1 back, but Klar and Nello are not going to allow that any more than that. Wall is going to come up, so Klar heals all the way back up to full. This is a dangerous situation. 2 members of Project X are weak, so this all comes down to these first taps. Klar gets it through the smoke, but nothing more than that. And just like that, Roxy hangs on.
A very surprising Orbital Strike coming out there. I wasn't too sure how that was. I mean, obviously it clears the sight a little bit, but there isn't too much follow-up off the back of it. Now here we are, 12-8. And, well, we had a 12-8 on Haven in the previous match. It wasn't streamed, but it happened. It went to 17-15 when we had a massive resurgence. I wonder if GangsterZz can dig deep and channel their inner Project X. Try and bring that scoreline up, because again, it's a broken buy with only a lockdown to work with, and Project X still have that Hunter's Fury. They've been ready to use it for so many rounds, and GangsterZz have just never put them in a position to need to use it. GangsterZz just not pushing far enough.
You're absolutely right, and the flash has come out there as well, and both trade a player immediately. Clara at least takes out Roxy, but Kim takes out Nino in the midst of it all, so they both lose 2 each. Kim holding a very awkward angle. Project X have all 3 ult, and the knives are coming on out. Knowing full well they can indeed win this point right here and now, and that's exactly what they were doing.